Hi everyone. This is CA Shivani Adukia, and I would like to, take this video on highlights of 55th GST Council, which was chaired by Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, our Finance Minister, at Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, which was held on 21st of December 2024. In that council meeting, multiple commodities and items have been discussed. Their logics behind that has been explained. Revisions and amendments have been proposed. The notifications of that each and every items would be rolled out soon. So beginning with, there have been multiple commodities. I'll start one by one to discuss each and every item. Now, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman discussed in the meeting about popcorns. Popcorns which earlier were not bifurcated, were not differentiated, are now being categorized into unpackaged popcorns with salt and spices, packaged popcorns, which is sold with the branding and in the retail sector, and another category comes as the caramelized popcorns. Now, unpackaged popcorns which are sold with salt and spices are to be charged at 5%. They are unpackaged as in non-branded, which are sold loose. Now in this category, who will fall? Generally the business to business people, as in, for example, when they are packaging and reselling it, they will be selling it at 12%. For the consumers like us, when we go to the retail shops, when we purchase these kind of branded popcorns, we will be charged at 12% for these GST items, for these items. Now another category which is being differentiated from these two options, that is packaged and non-packaged items, is caramelized coated popcorn. Now what do you mean by that? Firstly, it is a caramel coating which is being given in the popcorn, which adds a sweet taste to it. The reason for differentiating it and charging it at a 18% rate is the logic behind the council meet. Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, has drawn the conclusion that popcorn, when it is mixed with sugar, that is the caramel coating, they change their character from a salted or a namkeen item to the sugar confectionery. Now, this sugar confectionery item would be classified in HS code 17049090, which I have mentioned here, which is taxed at 18% charge. Now we had a lot of memes coming over in the on the social media that Nirmala Sitharaman has why is she differentiating, and it is just increasing the cost and a lot of things. But it is just that if you consider any other sugar item or sugar confectionaries, they are charged at 18%. It's only now the popcorn which is pushed pulled from the existing category of namkeen, or the other regular categories where they are being charged at 12% to just sugar confectionery. That's the only aspect. They have no other intentions. Okay, next is we'll jump to the next commodity, or the next item there where which is being discussed in the council meet, which is the sale of used cars. Now there has been a huge boom in the second-hand cars. You might have seen every almost second or third home is now having multiple cars, and one of them is generally the used car. So the companies who are going to purchase the used EV vehicles, uh, including EV vehicles or petrol, diesel, whatever such cars, they will have to pay the GST at 18%, okay, on a reverse charge mechanism. And also the GST would be chargeable on the marginal value, that is the purchase price and the resale price. So this decision has been taken to bring the uniformity of all the vehicles in the automobile industry to be to be taxed at a single uniform rate. All right. Now, the government has proposed EV vehicles to be taxed at 5%. This is with a reason to promote their promote more of EV vehicles because it will be cost effective for the consumers. For the companies, in the resale industry, the government is not interested to bifurcate. They are only concerned about the automobile industry buying and selling, where the purchase will also be at 18%, including the used EV vehicles, and the sale will also be the marginal price of the marginal value of the car would also be taxed at 18%. The reason behind is to simplify the tax structure, ensure the consistency across the vehicle industry. Now, next category is fortified rice kernels. Now, what do you mean by fortification? Fortification is a process wherein the rice kernels are coated with vitamins and minerals. Example can be basmati rice. Now, fortification is a process which is authorized by FSSAI, that is the Food Security, Safety and Security Authority of India, to combat malnutrition in the country. All the rice kernels in general, whatever is being sold, are fortified. Now, irrespective of the end use, whether it is for the selling purpose or whether it is for consumers, GST will be taxed at 5% only. This is a further good clarification wherein the agri-commodities, wherein the basic necessity goods would be reduced and the cost would be cost effective. It would be a cost effective measure, making goods available, accessible, affordable to the masses, because fortified rice kernels is a staple food in India. Also, it would reduce the cost on making the exports of India also very cost effective, making the exports the working capital of the merchant exporters or the the rice mills to be very much well managed and boost the exports. And moving to the next category is autoclaved aerated concrete blocks. What is this? Now, these blocks are used in the construction sites. Construction for building purposes, for residential flats or whatever, any kind of concretized structures would need these kind of blocks. Now, these blocks are categorized with a bifurcation of two categories. That is, one is with 50% fly ash and another is 90% fly ash. 90% fly ash were initially, and since in the previous notification itself, were clarified to be charged at 5%. Now, only addition in the 55th council meet is for 50% of fly ash, which is now taxed at 12%, to boost the sustainability in the using of blocks for the construction industry, where previously it was being taxed at 18%, again making the cost of construction cost effective, improving the working capital, making it accessible, affordable for the major masses of Indian community, for the Indian consumers, where the cost of, since the raw material cost is reducing, the price for the residential units or the commercial properties should reduce, provided the businesses pass on this kind of benefit to the customers. Now, just to explain further, AAC, that is the autoclaved aerated concrete blocks, is a lightweight precast building material made from a combination of cement, lime, sand, water and agents like aluminum powder. Now, in that, where the mixing of 50% fly ash has been made, it becomes more sustainable, environmental friendly kind of a material for construction sites, and hence the government wants to promote lower tax rate on these kind of materials, boosting the housing developers to use such kind of materials to make more environment efficient availability of the raw materials. So you can see it in the picture. It looks like this. I have given you for your basic understanding that how does it look. Next category is the compensation cess to the merchant exporters. See, government when they introduced GST, they had listed few categories of the items to be taxed as to be further taxed with the compensation cess. For example, items like pan, tobacco, petroleum commodities, and there's a list of items. If my audiences are interested, I would drop in a link. You can just have a look at that. So compensation cess is something which is central excise and service tax being replaced with a compensation cess to provide a compensation to the states for the in a form of GST as an additional tax to be taxed over and above the CGST and the SGST. It is not applicable for composition, the taxpayers or the SSEs or the businesses which is registered under composition tax scheme. It is only for the regular businesses. The compensation says for the merchant exporters. Merchant exporters are who? They are the traders who just purchase from the manufacturer, sell it to the and export such items. For them, the compensation sales have been reduced to 0.1%. It will be a significant savings of cost to significant savings of the cost, curbing, making the working capital more ease off. The pressure on the working capital would be reduced. Rotations would increase, making it more affordable, competitive, and Indian products can be exported more, where the merchant exporters can stand in the competition, in the fierce kind of level of competition these days. So the initiative would boost the exports and Indian goods would be more cost effective. Though exports are under GST, but there are certain categories where the merchant exporters have to pay taxes, which increases their overall cost, and now it will improve their working capital. Next comes for long range surface to air missiles. Now what is that? It is a missile which is launched from the ground. If you can see it in the picture, these missiles are launched when they are on the ground with a long range, especially targeted to the airplanes. In the war, these are generally used by who are in the war zones, or any enemy who is encroaching your premises. So the GST Council has exempted this missiles. Now this missile would also include the systems, subsystems, equipments, tools and software which is essential for the long range surface to air missile for development and operation. This is a very important part of defense system, and hence it is being exempted to make it more available, easier for the companies to boost such kind of to bring in the liquidity, boost more of such kind of availability of the products. It can be also included in the imports, wherein if the imports of these kind of products are happening, it will also be exempted under the GST. Now considering the war zones which is happening, India is preparing itself. No, I am not saying that India is at there is no remarks I would like to make. Just it is a measure that at a government level it is being taken for keeping defense as a primary and a very important area to be developed, and to keep oneself as a country, at a country level, to be abreast with all the latest technologies in the defense areas. For that, making it cost effective, making it easier, accessible, affordable for the government also, they have exempted it, including the participants who would be involved in this, maybe the ancillary services or maybe trading or similar other areas as it would be specified. Next comes the skill training partners. Firstly, who are skill training partners? Why is government introducing all these things? So government has always been very supportive, very very much affiliated, very much tied up to this goal of inflicting skills in our Indian youth, which will help them fetch better jobs, make them employable. For that, the trading partners who are affiliated with National Skill Development Corporation, which is a council, which is a corporation established by under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, to imbibe vocational skills for the participants who would like to go for such course and programs. For them, the courses that they sell or the businesses that they conduct as an affiliate partner to NSDC, for them GST would be exempt. This particular initiative has been done to make the vocational programs more affordable, accessible for the community in India, so that they are promoted and encouraged to sign up for these kind of vocational courses. And for the businesses, obviously, they are able to now reduce the cost, improve the working capital, and make it more affordable for in their selling aspects to bring in more educations, skill development, skill inflicting into the society. Now, next is payment aggregators. Now, payment aggregator, what do you mean by payment aggregators? I think in today's world, nobody needs to be explained, but just since we are on the topic, I would like to just give a highlight on that. Payment aggregators could be an example like Razorpay. I'm not branding over here to any company. I'm not endorsing. I'm just giving you an example so that people might have heard these kind of indigenous brands, homegrown brands, and they might be aware of these, wherein it will be easier for them to relate and understand the topic. For them, the payment aggregators are who, for example, we are stepping into the merchant, we are into the store, online or offline, wherein the payment gateways are for, especially for the online transaction, where you go to purchase anything on Amazon, you select one particular item, click on select payment, you will get a lot of options like UPI, net banking, credit card, debit card. In that, when you select the options, any of the options goes to the payment aggregator, wherein the payment aggregators like Razorpay, PayU, PayPal, all these are the payment gateways where your payment would be facilitated with the gateways, with a medium provided by these companies, which is then processed and associated with the banks in the backend, which is settled within T+3 or T+7, whatever is the working days as per each and every company's system, and later on is being credited to the merchant's account. So this is the entire payment aggregation model. For the payment aggregators who are collecting payments less than 2,000 rupees, for them GST is penal charges on borrowers by the banks or NBFCs. Now, penal charges, for example, I go to the bank and borrow it, and if I happen to miss a particular date, or I have not fulfilled the covenants of bank loans, they would be charging me with some penalty. Earlier, it was a debate that penal charges was also to be charged with a GST rate, as it is a extra service or extra income which is developed by the bank, and hence it is to be taxed at 18%. Government has clearly specified in this meeting that penal charges are compensatory in nature and do not qualify as a supply of service under the GST laws. Hence, GST won't be applicable. This is another good and a better initiative prompted by GST government, GST Council, which will reduce the burdens on the borrowers, also for the banks to keep and maintain GSTs on these penal charges which they have charged. Next is gift vouchers. Now, you must have seen there is a trend of providing gift vouchers, especially Amazon gift vouchers or Zomato gift vouchers or maybe Book My Show gift vouchers. So these gift vouchers were also under the debate to be considered as a supply of service and hence to be taxed. The clarification has been provided in this particular council meet, where it is clarified that gift vouchers are neither a supply of goods nor service. They become sale of goods or service once they are redeemed. Once they are redeemed, they come under supply of services. Otherwise, just selling of the gift vouchers do not qualify to be good or service. They are just a medium, like money, being converted into a gift format, and hence it is being kept out of the purview of GST. So GST won't be applicable on gift vouchers. Moving ahead, it comes under gene therapy. Now, gene therapy is what? It is related to the medical science. It's a biotechnology called as genetic engineering, which treats or prevents the diseases by altering a person's genes. Genes, we say that no, you have it in your genes. Why? Genes is something which defines a characteristics of the human body's working systems. When they are being altered to prevent from a particular disease, this is called as genetic engineering, which comes under gene therapy, which is now exempted from GST. The reason behind this is to make the treatments cost effective, enhance the accessibility for the patients significantly, and make the medical industry more affordable for masses. With this high, with the, with the in the heat of increasing inflation, it was a much necessary requirement, because government is always supportive of the medical industry, because it comes under as a basic necessity for the well-being of the society. This initiative will also position India as a competitive destination for advanced healthcare solutions and clinical research. So this is the implicit benefit that is going to be derived from this initiative. Now see, this is how it looks like. You must have also seen that it is a part of the DNA. DNA also looks like this. So gene therapy is a part of DNA. DNA engineering is what we do in this biotechnological advancement to prevent the diseases. Next is agriculturists selling black pepper and resins, including the black pepper would also include fresh green black peppers or dried black peppers. There is no segregation being done in the black pepper commodity, where it is being sold by agriculturists. Agriculturists are the ones who are growing these products like the black peppers, raisins, turmeric, etc., which is being sold. It can be for the B2B purpose or B2C purpose, whatever it is, but when it is when it is being sold by agriculturists, then GST won't be applicable. Next is aviation turbine fuel. So aviation turbine fuel, there was a discussion, there was a debate by the central government and the state government. Central government wanted to bring aviation turbine fuel under the GST purview, but the states have been very adamant about not bringing it under the purview of this, and hence government has decided that aviation turbine fuel will be deferred for the decision making for until further notice, and won't be charged because states did not agree. Next is food delivery system, delivery platforms like Swiggy, Zomato. The decision was there was a proposal led in the council meet to reduce the GST rate to 5% without input